Welcome to the Employment Wednesday podcast with Yvonne Shabangu. Have you heard of the scripture Hosea 4 verse 6? My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. The same applies to your career. When you don't know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, you are likely to make wrong career choices. But worry not. Employment Wednesdays is here for you to offer you all the answers relating to your career and offer you strategies to develop your career. Enjoy. Hi, everyone. You are welcome to another episode of Law Without Borders. And today I have a beautiful guest, the amazing Manu Gomashongwane. I hope I pronounced her name properly. I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going to let her introduce herself. Could you please introduce yourself? Tell us about yourself briefly.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Manu Gomashongwane. I am 24 years old. I am an attorney by profession, based in Johannesburg. I am a non-practicing attorney, by the way. I'm based in Johannesburg. I'm 24. I am also a YouTuber. Like I don't identify as a YouTuber, but I do have a YouTube channel, so please subscribe.
You just migrated into this space. That's beautiful.
Yes.
So before we go into the real stuff, I would like to ask some icebreaker questions and be honest. It's very light stuff, right? So the first question is, if you were not an attorney, what would you be and why?
Whew. I think I'd be a teacher. Yeah, I think I'd be a teacher. I love it. And I'd like to think that I'm good at it.
Okay.
So at school, we used to have, we used to do a lot of group sessions with group studies and stuff. And I always used to be the friend that conducts everything.
Nice.
And even when it's other friends' turn, somehow it always just
blended with you.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think I'm good at it. Yeah, I think I'm good at it and I enjoy it. And that is also one of the reasons why I do this stuff that I do on YouTube, because it is for education purposes and I genuinely enjoy it. And maybe it's just because I'm also just one of the older kids at home. So
teaching is like part of it. Okay, I also really love teaching. I think it's one of my other callings, right? And then number 2, 9 to 5 for entrepreneurship, and why?
Yeah. Ay, Shem, okay. Actually, I want to say Nanyo Awa.
You'd rather be a rich housewife.
Yes. And maybe just do part-time lecturing for vibes. But honestly,
Okay, that's fine. I love that. That's honest.
Let me just explain. I would say 9 to 5 because, as women, we like stability, and I'm also not like a lot of other women who are so business-minded or risk takers.
Okay.
Right. So a 9 to 5 in that regard, it does have a lot of opportunities as well. I'd also say entrepreneurship because I love the idea of having something that is my own.
Okay.
And I love the freedom. I know that it's not as free as it looks. Like people just think that you can wake up at 10 and work at 12. But I have people that have businesses in my circle, and I know that it's actually 24/7 of working. It's not 9 to 5 anymore. It's actually 24/7. Yeah, so I'd consider both, but honestly, if it was up to me,
none of the above. Okay, I
Yeah.
get you. 9 to 5 for me for now because it's safer. You know, you will always get a salary at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and then the last icebreaker: get paid well and no benefits, or get good benefits and get paid less.
okay, first of all, it depends on how you define benefits. What are benefits?
When we say good benefits, I'm talking about the generic ones like housing allowance, car allowance, and your good medical aid, your pension fund. That's what I'm talking about.
I'd rather get paid well.
You'd rather get paid well.
Yeah, and I'd like the freedom of choosing a medical aid of my own, a pension fund of my own with my own money, or just chop the money. Or just, I don't know, I just really like the idea of being responsible for that money that I
Okay,
work
being
for.
independent. I would go for actually pay me less and good benefits. And I say this because sometimes it's easy to think that you're going to pay for your pension fund. And then when the money
you
comes, you're
don't.
like, you know what? I'm not going to pay for it. I'll do it next month. But if it's done by your employer immediately, you don't have to worry about it when you get your salary, straightforward to what you want to use it for. But anyway, let's get into the real stuff now. So, number one, tell us about the most memorable moment during your articles and why.
Yeah. Memorable. Okay. I have a few.
I just want one.
One.
The turning point of your journey where you're like, okay, this is just, yeah.
Wow. Yo, you ask deep things. Okay. I think it has to be my very first court appearance.
Ooh, I can relate, actually.
Yeah, that was my very first court appearance. It was this very small matters. We never took small matters in my firm. Like we only did high court matters.
Okay.
But my principal would take small matters just so he can expose us the candidate attorneys to like court etiquette and like stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nice. Not nice, but it was a little, you know how it is, first day.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was on that day when I felt like, oh my God, I really am a lawyer.
It makes you feel like an adult, right?
Yeah, I really am a lawyer, but I still felt like a baby lawyer. Yeah.
Were you fully prepared for it?
No, I don't think you can ever be fully prepared. I was even late.
Okay. So for me, it was very impromptu because you know what happened? So I get to the office and then it was a Friday actually. And then I get to the office. One of my directors comes to the office and says, hey, Yvonne, you're appearing on Monday. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I need you to postpone this matter. Actually, no, it was, what do you call this? Why am I forgetting? You know, when somebody is harassing you, a protection order.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a protection order matter. So I had to appear on behalf of one of our clients, right? So he tells me on Friday, hey, listen, you've got an appearance on Monday. Prepare. I opened the file. There was nothing. So it means the person who was handling the
my
file
God.
had messed it up, right? So, and then I take it for granted because I thought it was a joke. On Monday, I get there. He's not in the office. My other director in the commercial team is available. He says, Yvonne, what's going on? Where are you taking that drop to? I'm like, I'm going to court. He's like, do you know what you're supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know. So then he gave me like a little bit of prep. Say, get there, go to the magistrate, introduce yourself, tell them about a little bit about the matter and who you are, and tell them that you're a first year candidate attorney so that they learn it, right?
Very important.
Yes, I did that. And it was so good. I felt like, you know what, finally I'm a lawyer, you know? Like it was so good, but also it was very nerve-wracking. I think that was also a turning point of my journey where I was like, oh, actually, you know, I did this, right? And then and our next question would be, do you think university equipped you well for the legal profession or the workplace?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, yesterday I was talking to a colleague of mine. I was telling her about this, and I was telling her that I want to film a video with you, and I was asking her for ideas, right? And then I asked her, oh, what do you think we should talk about? And she's like, I think you should talk about the gap between the degree and the legal space or the
Okay.
workplace.
Yes.
So it doesn't prepare you enough. It doesn't prepare you at all. I want to say at all, but it does. It really doesn't prepare you.
Sure.
But I also think it's like that, man, with a lot of degrees, honestly. I can't even say that it gives you an idea.
Sure.
It really doesn't.
So do you think there's something that institutions can actually place to actually prepare graduates for the workplace to make the process much better or much easier? Because I've seen that it's actually very traumatic or rather disruptive transitioning from uni to the workplace. I think that's why you find that a lot of people, a lot of young graduates have a lot of mental health issues because it's like, what is happening? It's like you basically know nothing.
Yeah. My principal actually used to say that he feels like the degree should be extended to at least 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
And maybe even include a lot, like maybe the last 2 years include like a lot of practicals.
Sure.
And the practicals should include workplace etiquette, not just court etiquette.
Okay.
Because as Gen Z people, we don't even know office etiquette.
Yes,
One thing about
professionalism
us.
zero.
Yeah.
Sure.
And write board exams while still within the
The
degree.
uni, yes, right.
But also, I just really feel like even if you maybe those things are implemented or introduced within the LLB program, there's only so much that can do. Some things you just have to roll with the punches. You still
Sure.
have to transition from being a student to being a working person, not necessarily being a lawyer, but to being a working person. Wardrobe wise, financially, sometimes you have to move out of home. Yeah, and I think that is why you'd say that the process is very disruptive, because it's not just you just passed your LLB and you're studying your articles. There's a lot of things involved that contribute to the disrupt.
Yes, that's
that
true.
is relocation, that is finances, that is wardrobe. At school, you have crop tops and ripped jeans. You have shoes. You have like wardrobe. You have family members. Some people. Then you have to move out of home. Then you have to find people that
will accommodate you for that time.
No. You find people that used to live at home when they were still in school, and now you're not at home anymore. And there are people who get their strength from living at home, and now you have to
be independent.
So it's just a lot of things. But honestly, no. To answer your question, in essence, no, I don't think that the degree prepares you enough.
Sure. No, I also fully agree with you. I think they should be, like your principal said, that, maybe extend the degree, but not just extend the degree. Maybe we at UJ, right? I studied at UJ. So we had like law clinic, right? And the final year for 6 months, we'll do practical work. I think they could actually do that for a year, to get you familiar with drafting and all of that, because I realized that when I look at my modules, right, in uni, the only module that made sense to me was applied legal studies, because it was so practical. But every other module, I still question it. I'm like, what? Did I really have to do that to get here? Because it's like, it's not as relevant. It's not as linked, because when you get to the workplace, you get there and it's just completely different, So yeah, and then why did you choose to go in-house as opposed to being in practice? Now we want the tea.
I don't know. It was just an opportunity that I wanted to explore. I've wanted to explore the corporate side of the law, but it's not like I was disappearing from practice. Actually, I would go back to practice.
You would?
It shocks a lot of people. Oh my God.
I'm actually also shocked, because us who actually live practice, if you ask me if I want to be in practice, I'm not sure.
No, I would go back to practice.
Really?
And I agree that practice is not for everyone.
Sure.
But I agree that it's for people like me.
Okay, that's beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying that the opportunity presented itself and you were like, you know what, I want to explore the corporate side of the law.
Yes, not that it presented itself. I actively pursued to go into corporate. It was either going to be, going into corporate, right? Or becoming an associate in a corporate firm.
Okay, so it was that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I don't mind practice at all. I love it.
Oh, that's beautiful. I really, it's so interesting hearing people that actually say they love practice, because most attorneys are just like, you know what, I want to go in-house, but I really love that. And then what are the pros and cons of being in-house?
The pros has to be the hours.
Sure. Yes.
I did this video that we're non-practicing attorneys. Of course, we knock off at 4 or 5 like normal people.
Sure. Of
you
course.
know, the pros has to be the workload.
Sure.
It's not that much. Yeah, we're non-practicing attorneys. Of course, we're mentally stable.
That's right. Of course we are.
Yes, but yeah, the workload is manageable. It's also not as fast-paced as a law firm.
Okay.
But I think that is not really a pro. I think that's not really an advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what else? Oh yeah, there are no billable hours.
Yes, no billables. Like, oh my God, if you're an aspiring attorney, just know that billables are a big thing.
Yeah.
If you're not billing, then just know that, you're in dip.
Yeah, so you just have a stable salary every month. Yeah, that's it. I think that's what I can think of now. These questions are so random, by the way. I had to say that out loud. You made sure that you don't show me this. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, and then the cons has to be the fact that, I don't know. Maybe the problem is me, ne? I think it's relaxed. It's too
It's too
relaxed for
relaxed.
me.
Okay.
And
Are you saying there's no pressure?
no, the pressure is not that much.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
or maybe that's just the
Or
company that I work for and
yes,
my
your
team
work
as well.
environment. Sure.
Yeah, or maybe because of where I come from.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
but yeah, it's really not that much. And I was watching a thing with Atlarang Kovuza.
Yes, I know her.
Sorry, and she was talking about how she feels like there's much more growth in practice than there is in corporate, and I agree with her. But she was also, I think she was talking about like position wise, as a candidate, as in practice, you're a candidate attorney, then an attorney or an associate, then a senior associate, then a
Then
director,
you make director, then equity
yes,
partner, and
yes.
all
So
of that.
there isn't that much ladder to climb in corporate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, at least not in my department, or at least not in my line of work.
Okay. And would you say, looking at the salaries, would you say that it's much better being in-house or it's much better being in practice? Because I know there's a stigma. People think attorneys have so much money. And I'm just like, are you sure? Because okay, we do make good money, but I feel it's not as great as people make it seem
Yeah.
compared to the work that we have to do.
I think that just depends on the company.
Sure.
Yeah, like when I'm thinking of going back to practice one day, I look at certain firms that I'm sure make the attorneys there make so much money.
Yes.
Yeah, they make so much money. They make more money than us. Then I know that we make more than other attorneys in other firms.
Sure.
And it also depends in the company. Like I work for a financial institution, right? It also depends on the financial institution or just the company or sometimes that you can be like in-house but not in financial institution, maybe
Yes.
in a mine or I think that also
Okay,
it
basically it depends also on the sector that you
on
work
the sector.
for. Yes.
It also depends on the firms that you are
size as
comparing.
well, like
Yes, that
small,
you're
medium,
comparing
big.
it with.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I guess it all depends on where you end up, which company you end up, right? And then what does your day look like at the office? Like a day in my life. If you were vlogging a day in my life, what would it look like? How does it start? What time does it start?
My contract says 8, but I'm in the office at around 8:30. And I knock off at 4, like normal people, guess soft life. So it's not that hectic. It's just a lot. Do you want me to get into detail, as
Yes,
to what
into
I do?
detail.
Yeah, there is work that is like daily work,
Yes.
like transactions monitoring. You have to check, like transactions monitoring, sanctions monitoring, or what is that? The cash transactions monitoring. That's what I do. Those are things that you have to do every day.
Sure.
Yes. So I usually start with those to get them out of the way, and
Okay.
then do my other work that has like deadlines. That would be high risk monitoring, conducting customer due diligence,
Yes.
enhanced
I love
due diligence.
My faves.
Yes. For high risk, I'm responsible for high risk clients. So what else do I do?
Do you guys draft? Do you guys have to go to court? Because I'm
No.
trying to look at the detail. Because you know how many people, and I was part of those people, and why Employment Wednesdays and why Law Without Borders came into life was the fact that I got a rude awakening in third year, which was so rude that also it made me, I wasn't so aware about what to do with my law degree, right? So in third year, I realized that I needed to get articles. I realized that I needed to do, I didn't even know that I had to do boards. I just knew that I had to get articles. I started searching for articles, and you know how hard it is to find articles, right? I get articles, right? But then also, I didn't know that I could do other things. I didn't know that I could go in-house.
Yeah.
All I thought you could do with a law degree, I thought you could just be an attorney or an advocate, nothing else. And I didn't even know about the processes that you had to go through. I thought you just wake up after your LLB and say, hey, I'm an attorney, and it's all good, right?
Yeah.
So would you say, I want you to take us through the differences between what you did as a candidate or what an associate does and what you do on your day to day.
Okay, so
And if
what?
you don't mind, what's the name of your position? Is it like legal advisory, legal counsel?
No, I'm an AML officer, anti-money laundering officer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes, so I'm not deep into the legal stuff. Yes, we do work with the legal department. Well, I'm in the legal and compliance department.
Sure.
Yes, so we are different teams. There's the legal team, there's the compliance team, and then there's us, the AML team. So we work closely with each other.
Okay.
And what I'm getting from your question is the difference between what we do versus practicing attorneys, right? So when we do have legal issues that are presented to us as the company, right? Of course, it will be brought to the legal department to our attention, but we are not the attorneys that will do the drafting, and
Okay.
we're not a law firm. We can't do that. We don't have the signature of the pleadings.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have to outsource and stuff, and then direct the people, the outsourced attorneys or lawyers practicing.
yeah.
Yes, so we outsource practicing attorneys and instruct them as to how they should go about it.
If I understood you correctly.
Sorry, let me just quickly disturb you. I'm so
Okay.
sorry. So instead of getting clients just like attorneys, we are the clients to attorneys.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I get that. So if I get you correctly, there is a legal department in your company
Yeah.
which gets actual legal work. And then that legal department then gives you guys work as the anti-money laundering department.
No.
So you are still part of the legal department, because I'm trying to understand your position, because it's not a generic position,
No. I am an anti-money laundering officer.
Officer, okay.
Yes. So I don't do the legal stuff like the drafting and the reading of contract. I just
Yes.
make sure that I make sure that the company is not stained by any.
There's no fraudulent money moving
Yes.
around. Okay, that's what you basically do. Are you supposed, is it a must that you're admitted as an attorney, or is it something that you can do straight out of your LLB?
You don't have, I don't think admission is a requirement.
Okay.
There are people that are AML officers that I also talk to on LinkedIn. AML officers, AML analysts, AML investigators. I talk to them, so we do
Sure.
the same things. And we are all in financial institutions, different. So some are in banks, some are,
Yeah.
some actually don't even have LLB degrees. Some have commercial degrees.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then some do have law degrees, like your BCom law and LLB, but they're not admitted attorneys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so being admitted is not a requirement, because I guess this is the turning point of our conversation, because the whole point of Law Without Borders is trying to unlearn the idea that you need to be admitted.
Yeah.
Because also there's a trauma that comes with your journey to admission. And sometimes it's not worth it. You don't have to go through it if you know that you don't need it or you're not passionate about it. I love what you said at the beginning of our conversation when you said there are people that are for practice, and you know that there are people like you. And also there's certain people that don't have to practice. So actually, I think I'm actually interested in knowing more about your position. I think I'll do further research, because I think it's quite interesting that you got admitted as an attorney, and instead of actually staying in practice, you actually did something that's a bit different,
It
And
is legal related though. to
yes,
a certain
yeah. To a certain, because I mean DDs as well. Like, it's basically due diligence, checking that if everything is according to the law. I guess you guys do like more fires, ne?
Yes,
FICA.
FICA, yeah, and fires, yeah.
Okay, that's nice. That's actually very interesting. And then
Yo, just to quickly add on that, you mentioned about the trauma journey to admission, how traumatic it is, and how there's absolutely no need to go through it. I mean, if you can be successful in the profession, without being an attorney or without being an advocate, you can still be successful somehow.
sure.
Because there's a lot of other options that you can do with your degree. I think people need to start considering that. I was talking to the grad at the office, telling her, she's also an attorney, and I was telling her that, we were sharing our experiences, and I was telling her that, I used to consider giving up. And there was a time I was 1 year, 5 months into my articles where I thought about quitting like every day. And sometimes I think about it, what if I actually quit? And I think about it because like I don't believe in struggle.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
believe in struggle.
I'm also a soft hand. Funny
Yeah.
enough, I also had an experience like that. I wanted to quit 1 year, 8 months into my articles.
Yeah.
My friend was like, "You're not going to do that." Like, it took her sitting me down saying, and it wasn't even a thing of, I worked in the most beautiful work environment. I can't really complain about my law firm, but it was the mental struggles. Like I always say, training to be a lawyer is like military training. Like, the nature of the profession is actually very hard on you as a person. So you need to have a lot of coping methods and all of that, because if you don't have support, coping methods and all of that, it can actually take you to the pits as opposed to taking you on a high, right? So I also had that moment where I was like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do this. And my friend was like, no, you just left with 4 months. Just push through. And I pushed through. You know when they say, do it crying? I literally did it crying. I did it tired.
I'm so triggered.
I did it exhausted, literally.
You are what?
Like-
Because that's what I think about. That what if I actually quit? Because I know people would say, "Wow, look what you are now. You should be happy that you didn't give up." Sometimes I'm like, maybe I should have.
Yeah, because at what
there is
cost?
at what cost? No, for real. I think about that sometimes. I think about it sometimes that a lot of success stories. So people that are successful will tell you about how they quit
Sure.
Without plan B. At that point, I was just like, one thing I know is that if I do quit, there will be something will come up.
Sure.
One way or the other, because there's absolutely no need. And I know that it's not just in the legal profession; it's careers as in general. It's not an easy journey, but there's no need to stress. There's no need to stress. And I don't believe in struggling.
Yeah, I feel like when
If it
it's
can
all
be
said and
easy, if it
done-
could go smoother, then why not?
Sure.
We go through the most.
No, I hear you, because I think when it's all said and done, there's no need for you to tear yourself apart for a job. There's no need for you to tear yourself apart, especially if you can take a softer route, or if you can take a route that can actually lead you to where you want to be. Just like the example of, you don't have to be an attorney to get certain positions, but a lot of people operate from the assumption that you have to be an attorney. I've heard people say, I'm jobless. Have you done any other job? Have you considered any other job? No, I'm looking for articles. Go to retail, go to call center places, go to in-house, go do legal counsel work, go be a researcher, do something else. And you realize that, like, many times people think they should be attorneys because they think they're less of lawyers when they're not admitted attorneys. Honey, you've got that LLB, you're still a lawyer. You might not be a practicing attorney or practicing advocate or whatever the case may be, but you're still a lawyer, right? So how did you secure your job? Was it easy getting it? Or was it via LinkedIn? Okay, I believe in LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the first thing that popped in, because I really believed in LinkedIn. I believe in LinkedIn with everything I am. How did you get the job? Was it easy? Was it hard?
It can never be easy to find a job in South Africa.
That's right. It's actually a global problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy. Whether as a lawyer, whether you're an admitted attorney or it's not easy. So no, it wasn't easy. I think I had sent over 40 applications before I could get an interview. I actually started on a grad program.
Oh, nice. That's
I wanted
interesting.
to go into corporate so bad that I was willing to start over.
You know what? I love that. Actually, I want us to go into that part. Many people don't want to do learnerships or grad programs. They just want articles.
They're playing themselves. No, for real, you guys are missing out. I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, but that's right. They're all missing out. Because, I mean, if you can't get articles, go for a grad program. Do a learnership. I also know somebody who started off at the Blue Bank. In a learnership where they were getting paid, I think at the time, it was a couple of years ago, 5,000 rand. And it was so little, but now they're in a good position. They have a home, they have a car, they married. So I feel like sometimes don't be afraid of starting over. I say to people, the help you require is on the other side of starting over.
No,
Literally. Literally.
I agree. So I started with that, and then I was retained as a permanent employee, within about 7 months. 6 months.
Oh, you must be a hard worker, ne? I work well under pressure.
I don't associate myself with that. I'm joking. But yeah, man. I mean, if you're from practice, honestly, Sana, if you're from practice, there's nothing that will come your way that you won't do, that you can't do,
Okay.
honestly. So yeah, it was easy to impress my boss.
Okay, so did you apply through their website or was it via LinkedIn or was it
I don't
via?
remember. At that time, I was actively job searching. So I was applying. I would create a profile in different career portals, different
Sure.
websites, different companies. But I think with this specific one, I'm not sure though, because it was a lot of applications. I was desperate for a job. Yeah.
Sure.
So I think this one was advertised at the UP Career Services
Okay.
website. Yeah. So UP has this
A career portal.
career portal where they advertise jobs, and it was just out. Yeah. So
Okay.
I think I got it there, and then I signed up. And
So somebody who wanted to join your company, how would they go about it now since you may know how people apply to go in?
just like with a lot of corporate companies, you just go to the career portal, you go to the website, and then there's careers, and you insert your details
Okay.
and upload your CV.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think we actually answered this, but just to reiterate it, do you think there's an advantage for a person who's an admitted attorney compared to a person who's not?
Yes, of course. Of course. If you're not admitted, I'm sorry for you to hear this, but yes, as attorney, you have much more experience. You have been in a working environment before, and you are pressure driven, whether you like it or not, or whether you admit it or not, you are pressure driven.
Okay.
Yeah. So companies tend to think that attorneys are better candidates.
Compared to a regular LLB holder.
Yes, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible for you to be in our department, the legal and compliance department. We have people that just have LLBs, then we have people that are attorneys, but most of us are admitted. Some are attorneys or advocates, but most of us are admitted. But I think we have like 5-6 people who just have LLBs.
LBs. Okay, that's a good number. I feel like at least they're giving other people a fair opportunity to say, you know what, if you can't get admitted for whatever reason, at least you can actually come through as long as you have the right qualification, right? And then what would you say to a law student searching for their next opportunity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I run out of advisors, guys. Like, I keep advising you guys on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram and TikTok. But honestly, just knock on doors. And let me tell you, don't be discouraged by the fact that, LLB is oversaturated. The legal profession is oversaturated. You need to block out
That's
the
a
noise.
myth, actually.
Yeah, and things like, I have an LLB from a certain universities, companies prefer certain, like you need to knock on doors and do not be discouraged by those things. That you need to
Sure.
know, yes. And you need to open yourself up for other things outside of pupillage or articles. Yes, just knock on doors and connect with people on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Learn professional etiquette. Go and network with people. Attend these events that are hosted by
Sure.
corporate companies that don't have a fee. They'll just tell you in Santon at Saturday from 9 to 12. It's free entry. Get there. Go there with a CV. No, for real.
That's right. And that's very creative.
Yeah, and if you can further your studies as well, doesn't have to be a master's or an LLM. It can just be a certificate or something, certificate in compliance, for example, or a
Sure.
certificate in something. But don't stop job searching. Just knock on doors, right?
Yes,
But
you never know.
Yeah, and you never know. And just because maybe you're starting with a grad program in other companies doesn't mean that you're automatically abandoning your dream as to be an attorney, or
Sure.
it does not. It cancels out the whole.
The bigger picture that you see.
Yes,
Sure, it doesn't.
yeah. So we had this girl at the office. I think she started on a grad program, and she worked in the office for like 2 to 3 years. She was in regulatory affairs. She's a law graduate.
Sure.
Yes, and she left this year. She resigned last year, December, and she left this year to serve articles in one of the big 5 firms.
Imagine
Yeah,
after
so she
actually
started
serving her
in
time as a graduate.
No, after serving her time as a graduate and being retained and working at the company for 2 more years.
Nice.
Yeah, so she started a career in corporate, and she was actually working in permanent, and then she decided to go serve her articles.
And I think also it gives you quite a good advantage because now
think
also
so
you
too.
know how to be professional, you know how certain things work, and you've probably networked and all of that. So I think when you're seated at home, add value to yourself.
100%.
Whatever that looks like, whether it's taking a new course, whether it's reading, but just don't sit at home and hope a job is going to appear or hope that something is going to miraculously happen. It's imperative that you keep on adding value to
And
yourself.
you put yourself out there. Like no one
Sure.
is coming to save you.
That's
Yo,
true.
yeah, no, for real. No one is
Yeah.
coming to save you. So put yourself out there. Go there with your English, like mine from Mafulufulu High School, and take a route train to Senton. Take your CVs, print out your CVs, get there and network with people, introduce yourself.
Sure.
Sometimes you don't have to give out your CV and be like, oh, give me a job. Sometimes you find that you're networking with HR people. Hey, can you correct? Do you think it's presentable? How would
True.
you? Yeah. How? But put yourself out there. Hey, but also, hey, guys, I mean, I like giving people advice and be like, but you can do what you want at the end of the day. So I just
Sure.
say, I'm just saying that take it or not.
Okay, no, I hear you, and I completely agree, man. Put yourself out there. There's a quote I had when I was listening to one podcast where they said the best time to network is when you don't need anything. So don't wait until you're desperate. Don't wait until it's late. Start early, as second year, or as early as possible, as after matric. Start putting yourself out there. And another thing that I think people should get over is trying to get things out of people. Sometimes offer people something.
Oh, for
Get to
real.
your company and say, "Hey guys, I'm good at editing. Do you guys want me to manage your social media?" When they see that you've got something to offer, they recognize that and they give you a position.
No, for
So
real.
don't always be a taker. And then just to conclude our conversation, I actually enjoyed this. One sentence to describe your legal journey thus far.
Traumatic.
What?
I'm joking. Whew. Don't know about one word. I don't know.
Sentence.
Oh, sentence.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's mixed. That's a lot of sentences. No, you know what? I don't know how would I describe it. Okay, sentence: good and bad, or bad and good. Yeah, bad and good,
Oh,
or
bad
bad
and
then
good.
good. Yo,
Bad then good. Okay, that's a very interesting one. Anyway, thank you so much for joining in, Manoko. I really enjoyed. I learned quite a lot, and I hope that people at home are able to learn something from this episode. And I hope they'll be able to find you on LinkedIn and ask questions if they want to go into your space, because I think it's a really interesting space. Hey, I think it's something that I would actually also consider at some point. But I really enjoyed this conversation. And guys, do not forget to like, share with your friends, and send us questions if you've got anything to ask regarding this episode, and we'll be able to assist.